Josh, what are we doing?
This is the last slide.
It's the Last Slide podcast. Start off by how did we come up with that name again, or who came up with that?
Alex, during the Saturday group workout that we
Okay.
did on April 1st,
Okay.
he, I forget what he said specifically, but he was like, "Is this the last slide?" I was like, I'm going to write that down on my notes right now.
Everybody always wants to know if it's the last slide.
Yeah.
They're traumatized because sometimes like they're getting crushed in a workout. We've been at it for 45 minutes and they're just like, is this the last slide? For people who don't know, we have slides up with the workout displayed and it's kind of like a PowerPoint presentation. So everyone's always begging to know if it's the last slide or not. So I guess it's sort of fitting that we're going towards that. So yeah, Last Slide podcast. What are we talking about? Anything fitness related and anything not fitness related. Maybe we'll dabble into like coaching.
Sure.
Ins and outs.
That's what
Who
my
knows?
hat says. My hat says.
Your hat's a coach just to clear things up.
Yeah.
Yes,
See,
Josh.
some people get confused who I am.
I know.
Are you the cameraman? No, I'm the coach.
Coach.
Yeah.
Clearly. Do you wear that when you're DJing too sometimes?
I do actually.
Just to mess
so
with
people know who to ask.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do I ask to request a song? Coach.
Ask the coach.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
So in terms of where you got started with your, let's just dive in, get to know each other a little bit for all the millions of listeners out
I'm
there
Josh.
who I'm sure
I'm
have
5'8".
this.
I'm an Aries, and I like walks on the beach. Only in the winter though.
Okay, that's weird. Where'd you get started with fitness? When did you first start working out?
Tybo with my mom.
Okay, cute.
With the VHS tapes.
Very adorable.
Yeah, that was when I was a small children.
Okay.
But when I got older, my father was a bodybuilder, a former amateur bodybuilder. And I started working out when I was like 15 or 16 on a football team. I was very overweight. I was, made fun of. Even though I was super active, I was dancing, I was soccer, everything. He was a history teacher, but he also was the strength and conditioning coach at my high school. He kind of just gave me these workout programs, and he's like, just come in every day, it's great. And I did, and I lost like 60 pounds in like 5 months. I was short. I gained 2 inches of height, and I lost 60 pounds, so go figure. And it was so fast, the doctors thought I had some type of either medical issue or eating disorder, because they didn't believe that I could lose. I had a physical, and a week later I went in for a sick visit, and I lost 20 pounds in that 1 week. And they were like, that's physically impossible based off of, I wasn't, sub 500 pounds. I was only 200-ish at the time. So that's why they said too little of weight for me to lose it. And I lost it that fast. And they were like, we don't believe it. And I was like, they made me take a bunch of blood tests and a million tests in the world. And they're like, no, you're super healthy. And I was like, great. I did it legit. I had a strength coach, and I went on a strength and conditioning course during the summer, and going back into my senior year of high school, I dropped all that weight. And so when I went into senior year, I just was a whole new person.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of what started me on fitness. It wasn't until I got to college where I realized that I was working at a Planet Fitness, and on TV there was my 600-pound life. I forget the name of the show.
I think it's my 600-pound life. Yeah.
There's an 800-pound, there's a 600-pound life. But I was watching it, and I was just like, wow, because I was doing physical education. And I was like, I don't want to just be limited to working with kids. I thought working
So
with
you
kids
went to
was
school
great.
for fitness?
I did.
Yeah.
Originally I went to school for software engineering. Has nothing to do with fitness. And then I transferred to...
You might have more money today if you stuck with software engineering.
Correct, but I would not be as charismatic.
Exactly. You're way too endearing to be a software engineer.
And it was
not
just
to knock the
different.
software engineers, but...
Yeah, it was just different, and I just wanted to... I was watching the show. Like I said, I'm working at Planet Fitness, and I was like, I don't want to just do this for kids. I want to do this for everybody. Like, my family was very, unhealthy. Not eating habits, but just physically. They weren't able to do a lot of things, and I was like, it needs to start at home, too. So I changed from physical education to exercise science. I started training friends and family. My mother lost... Oh, my goodness. I feel like a bajillion pounds. She wasn't that heavy, but she lost, I think, 100, 150 or something like that.
Primarily how?
Diet. My goodness. It was, so there's, they show the theories of 60, 40%, 60% being diet, 40% is exercise. She was so overweight that she couldn't move, put it that way. Like, she didn't have pain-free movement. She was in pain with everything. So she lost the majority of her weight from diet. Then she started getting active. Like she couldn't walk down the street with me, and
Yeah.
just down the street, not a mile down the street.
Yeah.
Just to the end of the street,
Yeah.
which was not even a tenth of a mile.
Yeah.
Before she was like, I'm tired, and so she lost the weight. Whole new person. Not just physically but emotionally, and just seeing that how. Sure, you may look different, but how you are and how you're affecting the people around you changes with diet and exercise and just a healthy thing. Like I don't want to train somebody just for them to look good naked. We get it. Like everybody wants to look good naked.
That's the low-key goal, whether
Right.
people admit it or not.
But sure, living longer is great, but what is is your personality going to be affected by it in a positive way?
Mhm.
Are the people around you going to be affected by it positively? Sure, you don't have to do it for other people, but the people who are most important to you are going to have the most effect from your
It
weight
might rub
loss
off on
or-
them. Because it's always about who's the company that you keep.
Yes.
Like that's why friends groups stay friends groups, because they're like, hey, we all are sort of like-minded in the sense that either A, we like to prepare our own foods and eat healthy and work out. We work out at the same gym, or our group of friends, we go out to bars and we party 4 nights a week. I mean, there's little overlap. You can do both, but generally speaking,
And
it's
when you
the
pregame with
company you
coconut
keep.
water, it's a little
Hey,
different.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's just who you keep around you is
Yeah.
the largest thing. That's why sometimes habit change is so hard for so many people. It's just
Yeah.
because it's to be the only person in your social circle that all of a sudden wants to do completely 180 of what everyone else does.
Yeah.
That's what holds people back.
Well, and that's when a lot of people that they change their whole entire. They don't change their lifestyle, but they adapt a new lifestyle, and it is beneficial. But the people they're around who they've surrounded themselves with that lifestyle, they slowly fade away.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not it's sad. It's good because if these people genuinely want to be around you for you, seeing them do these healthier or better habits, they might join you. And now you have, now not only are you, and then it's just the pyramid effect at that point.
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
Exactly.
Which is great. Also, the other thing is you pay it forward. You see somebody do something positive, then you want to do it. Just like in traffic, let me go first, and then the next person
return
will
the
go,
favor.
Yep. It just starts with
doesn't
one
always work
person.
out that
It does. If everybody was like, you go, I go, you go, no traffic.
When you get a nice clean zipper effect on an on-ramp or something like that.
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite.
The 93, 95
when
merge.
people, that's a thing too. We don't have mirrors in here,
True.
which is great. A lot of people are like, why? I mean, I love looking at myself. I get it, but these are functional movements.
Yeah.
If you're home, you don't got a mirror in the kitchen all the time. Some people do, but if I said, "Oh, I have to grab something," and you're not doing, a functional form thing correctly, that's when people get hurt. You should
True.
functional training. The reason why is because it correlates to what you do every day.
Yep.
Getting in and out of the car, picking something up, playing with your children, running around with your children, or chasing after them if you have to. But there's no mirrors in the real world outside.
Full disclosure on the mirror thing, and this is probably a slight little confession almost, is, I spent my years with CrossFit, so that CrossFit is ultimate, no mirrors or nothing. We're working out in a dirty garage, and it's all about what your body can do and all things. That's great.
Yeah.
And so I got really used to that, and then I went over to Orange Theory, and they don't have full mirrors, but they have half mirrors. But it was the first time working out in front of a mirror in a decade.
Yep.
And I was like, it's kind of cool.
No.
Little small part, but I noticed it was throwing me off a little bit, because I was, instead of thinking about my form, I was looking at
at the mirror.
myself, and I was totally losing my I don't know, depth perception or whatever, checking out the mirror. But but then I'm like, all right, I don't need this all the time.
Yeah, if you look at the mirror, if you look at yourself, right, you kind of forget. There's another thing that you're thinking about. Rather than, if I said do a squat, right?
Yeah.
Us as coaches are like, okay, I remember that I need to brace correctly. I need to make sure my knees don't cave in. I need to make sure my heels are flat. It's not just, okay, squat. There's things that play in our heads, of 7 different movements.
Yep.
Of doing it. And so that's why when we get people and they've never done a squat, under a coach's supervision before, and I say do a squat, some people have perfect movement, and then some people...
Isn't that a great
knees
day
drop.
when people walk in and it's like a perfect squat? we love everybody, but if you walk in with a perfect squat,
Just don't try
we extra
hard.
love you.
Just don't try hard. Don't freak out. If I say do a squat, don't be like, I have to do the best squat. Just drop it low. Drop it like it's hot.
Yep.
You know, because most
Sit on
likely your
back.
body is going to put you in that motion.
Yep.
Babies pick things up when they learn to
It's
pick things
true.
up. Functionally correct.
I can't wait for my son to start doing the little baby squat.
The perfect,
He's getting
up.
there. He's lowering himself down slowly.
which is great.
I'm so excited.
And then you turn it to an adult and you like pick it up and you're like, okay. You're like,
Exactly.
who
Yeah.
told you to do that?
Yeah. But they're also their little bodies aren't jacked up from sitting in chairs and sitting in cars, because that's why our hips are so bad, because we're not meant to be sitting in chairs.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be quad dominant people.
No.
We're supposed to be hamstring dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But we all, because we sit all day, become quad dominant,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you usually end up having bad hips, lower back.
Because you're a little out of sync.
Yes. Do you know
out of
that song,
symmetry.
Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes?
Yes, sure do.
That song is about getting old. Your head, you forget things. Your shoulders
Don't tell me this.
probably dislocated. Your knees are shot. And toes, you probably don't have feeling in them anymore. That's not really what it's about.
Okay.
But that's what makes me think of... No, you're
All
old
the
when you
bad
stop referring to things as your left and right, as this is my good, this is my bad.
I'm old when 5 minutes ago it took me 6 clicks on my phone to open my camera instead of just hitting it from the home screen. That's when you know
He's like, I gotta pull up the camera. And he like
Yeah,
opened
thank
it,
you.
slid over a couple times. I'm like, what are you doing?
Thank you, Josh, for
Yeah.
pointing out the things that I just, awesome.
I was
We're all
really
getting
upset
old.
about that.
I know.
And so you and I have similar backgrounds. Obviously, I
We
don't
do.
know if you went to school for.
Did not.
You didn't.
I
got a
went to school for
certification.
political science, and now I own a gym. So it's quite the
What?
leap.
I just learned something.
I know.
Poli sci.
Poli sci. I was always a nerd.
What can you get a job with?
You're supposed to become a lawyer
You're
after political science. It was
supposed
like everybody else in the major was like had basically visions for law school
Gotcha.
of some variety afterwards.
Cool.
And they're like, Adam, you going? I'm like, no. So I did my thing, but I started like following news and politics in high school and stuff like that. And then poli sci, because I'm like, hey, I like all that shit. And then, podcast is now R-rated. And then,
I thought I was gonna.
hey. Yeah, I know. I worked for the government down in D.C. for 5 years, and that's where I found CrossFit, because CrossFit at the time, before it was huge, it was like all the military guys and everything doing it, and so with like guys I worked with in the office, in the military, and that's where I got roped into CrossFit and fell in love with it, and tried in CrossFit down in Alexandria, Virginia was my start. Fell in love with it. It's like the story of so many coaches. Like they find fitness, it changes their lives, and then they become a coach. You kind of alluded that to before. Like after once people find fitness, they then want to help others.
Correct.
And it was sort of just like I fell into that natural progression. Loved CrossFit, but then like they had a great sort of coaches development program there that I just like fell right into. Learned how to become a coach from some of the greatest coaches I feel like in the CrossFit space. They're really like in the whole CrossFit world, there are gyms with great coaches and gyms with not great coaches.
Sure.
This was one of the ones with great coaches.
Sure.
So did that for a while, always part-time, always a side gig. When the government career flamed out, moved back here, I was doing like whatever job and coaching on the side. But the fun part is like I started CrossFit when I was like 23. And then so
That must have been a long time.
I mean that was basically the 70s. And so then I was just sort of I peaked in my mid-20s, as you would expect someone drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid. And then I hit like as soon as I hit 30, it was like clockwork. It was like my body was just hurting so much more. And that's when I started like just training smarter. Like I was doing like the scaled weights more and just moving it really clean.
Yeah.
And I sort of fallen out of love with like the CrossFit like idea and concept. And then I dabbled with Orange Theory because an opportunity came up, and it was, as a major franchise, they like sort of, had great compensation plans for coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was in there as manager there, and so I learned a lot of insight about fitness business, things like that, but got exposed to a whole nother realm of types of coaching with a whole different type of population and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so then it was like I was also training people in my garage, and then like COVID hit, and I was training everybody in my garage.
Legally.
Illegally. perfectly fine. It's just friends coming over to work out.
That's right.
And
with
and
beer.
that's where the Ativo 1.0 was born, with very ugly green and yellow colors.
Nice.
And so you'll see people here wearing the green sweatshirts. We call them garage greens. Because
Oh.
only because I got those hoodies made when we're in the garage.
I'm learning so
and so
much.
you have to be a garage green OG to have one of
I'm
those.
learning so much today.
Yeah.
You know, these
yeah.
are things that I should have learned during the interview process. and I
Hey.
didn't.
So, but anyway, it's like, yeah, so you have a little bit of that, like, because you did some, like, F45, which
yeah,
I would
'cause-
say F45, Orange Theory,
Yeah. So
quite close in terms of
I mean, you
their
coming
target
from
population.
Sure, like you coming from Orange. I'm sorry, you coming from CrossFit, then Orange, being a head coach at Orange Theory, and then boom, you know, it was very similar to me in the past 3 years, which was CrossFit, head coach at F45,
Yeah.
and then here I am.
There you go.
So very similar. Orange Theory and F45 are obviously, it's like Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks.
Which one's Starbucks, which one's Dunkin' Donuts? You say Orange Theory and F45 are like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts?
I would feel like there's a lot. I would say Orange Theory is the Dunkin' Donuts of New England.
Okay.
But Starbucks is I'm sorry, F45 is the Starbucks of like
Everywhere else.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
they're not there's not a lot out here. They're
Maybe
not
5
as
years
successful.
ago, Orange
Sure.
Theory was probably a little sexier than.
Oh,
F40
yeah.
Like F45, I think is a
But
little
there's a-
sexier than Orange Theory
there-
because it's slightly newer.
So F45 just passed CrossFit as Australia's #1 gym, fitness, sport, whatever.
Like in terms of like number of locations,
No. Like of
people that
people
do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Australia, by the way, if you want to know about health and fitness,
Australia
Australia is like top tier.
Australians love their fitness.
Top tier of like they test things there,
Yeah.
and then they bring it to America. You know.
Well, they're a whole like day ahead.
You know, for anyone that tries to get like a game or something
That's
that you
pretty
need to do
good.
it a day before, set your clock for Australia, you'll get it a day
Exactly.
before. But yeah, I mean, similar. See, I'm copying you now. But similar. I mean, obviously, you've done CrossFit, then Orange Theory. Now you're here, and I've done
Everything.
Planet Fitness, Anytime Fitness.
You got a lot of that PT experience.
Oh my goodness!
You have-
And
you
fitness
have that-
together.
You have a lot of PT experience.
Yeah.
Where I've been like primarily group.
I was against CrossFit my whole entire
Mhm.
fitness career.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. Anytime Fitness closed. I needed a job. There was the guy next door. His son worked at a CrossFit gym. Got a job there, and they did not do traditional CrossFit. The
Yeah.
owner did not. He was one, very early CrossFit affiliates, but did not do CrossFit like movements. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, movements, sure, but it was all functional. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like, hey, come in, you're gonna do a bajillion burpees
Mhm.
and wall balls, and then 7,000 muscle ups. It was, all right, we're gonna prep how to do a dip muscle like from the box.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, this is
This
great.
is skill development.
And so having the experiences of doing a fitness together, which
Mhm.
was everyone over the age of, on average, my youngest client I think was 60,
mm-hmm.
and everyone had a knee replacement, a shoulder replacement, some type of issue
Yeah.
that was replaced or is in PT,
Mm-hmm.
and doing CrossFit, which is the opposite movements,
Yeah.
complete, and doing like anytime, like just having the experience of a business side of things,
Mm-hmm.
which was great for how to, talk to people. It helped a lot with my communication skills, even though I've never had an issue with talking to
Yeah.
anybody. But going from CrossFit to fun, like I can get an athlete coming in right now, 18 years old, D1 scholarship, good
Mhm.
to go, and then their grandfather, maybe who has 2 knee replacements and
Yeah.
a shoulder replacement, and train them maybe not at the same time,
Side
but
by
it's
side.
possible. Yeah, and they could do similar movements, but at a different scale.
Yep.
Just because of the education and the experience that I've gone through in a short period of time.
True.
That you're older. Won't say how much, but your generation of people, even though we're still in the same generation.
No.
I'm a millennial.
Are you though?
Yeah.
You were born in like '96.
Yeah. I think it
Ugh.
goed up to 2000.
Oof.
Unless I'm Gen
No.
Y. You're
There-
Gen X, I'm Gen Y.
I don't know what comes after millennial. That's all It's like there's X and
Hell.
Z and I don't know.
No, well, there's the
X is-
influence. My sister's part of the influencer generation.
Okay.
Anyways, but it was the younger generations, people born past 90,
Sure.
have more jobs throughout their career
Yep.
than actual like baby boomers and things
Oh,
like
they
that.
stay at one job for 40
Stay at one
years.
job for until they retire.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't know if we're in the same generation, but Gen X, Y, whatever, Z, M&Ms, where they get a job, they stay there for 2-3 years, boom, next job. And so they're getting paid less, but they're getting more experience.
Yep. But what's smart about that is they keep kind of just every move they make is like a slight level up.
Yep, that's right. They step on a new
Instead
step.
of just sitting there and grinding it out and hoping they get rewarded for it.
Yep.
They go, this job pays me $3,000 more per year. I'm going to go over there.
Yep.
And they'll sit there for maybe a year and go, this job over here pays me $3,000 more than I currently am.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden they've made a $6,000 raise in about 18 months.
But that's where
And
that's
like you
where-
can't get that by sitting there and
No.
grinding out a job.
No, but that's where like companies change so much because they have so much other influence from other people coming in.
Yeah.
So like everyone I worked with at F45 was all of them were former Orange Theory, every single
True.
one, and most of former Orange Theory were former Title or I Love Kickboxing, and then so forth, which was Group X and blah blah blah.
Yep.
So when you have all of them mixing together, that's why you're like, oh, which one's better? Well, they're kind of the same, but they're not.
Yep.
It's like saying what's better, broccoli or asparagus or spinach. It's like.
Broccoli. I didn't know if you
Was
wanted
that it was supposed to be
an answer.
redundant? Was
No,
that
no.
an actual answer?
Yeah, broccoli's better than all those.
Did it taste better or did it put better for you?
Just in general.
I'm learning something.
I would crush broccoli. Trays and trays of roasted broccoli. But how about this? Orange Theory, F45, you both got like 30 people in a room.
Oh,
Talk about like from a coach's perspective. It's just like and that's one of the biggest things is when you're coaching that type of class, you're not coaching, you're directing traffic. You're a what's the guy I'm looking for?
Cheerleader?
Air traffic control / cheerleader / crossing guard.
it was. So did you have to wear a mic?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so
I low key liked it.
my company, my franchisee did not require it until
What?
the day that we started. They said, wear the mic. I said, I have practiced with the mic.
Yep.
None of my coaches are used to it. They go, well, all of our other studios use it. I go,
Yeah.
we were told that we didn't have to. It was
Okay.
very strange. But I said, all right. So obviously being a DJ, mic voice.
Oh jeez,
Yeah.
that worked. I would like.
They were like,
I'd
"Who
actually
is
like
this
to
guy?"
see you on the microphone
do not.
at one of those classes.
By the way, I was told from Everybody Fights that I wasn't gritty enough.
You're not gritty enough.
I have no idea what that
Did
means.
you not have enough tattoos then?
I think they meant my voice.
Oh, jeez.
Like I wasn't like,
Okay.
keep going.
You're enough
I
of
was
a-
just
not the
kinda
drill
like,
sergeant.
You're doing great.
Not the drill sergeant type.
I don't know.
So I
I'm
had the-
Richard Simmons, not James Fonda. I don't know what to tell you.
People told me I was like, I'd be very direct on the mic. Like I was not like
Hey,
drill
you're
sergeant.
doing that wrong.
No, but I'd be direct. I'd give them a little pump up. It would be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Like this block's about to begin.
Sure.
And you're gonna like go smash it. 3,
Sure.
2, 1, move.
Yeah, I've never been
You know?
one of those that say like, okay, remember why you're here. And
No.
I
Oh.
couldn't do that. I would always
Oh.
be like, if you're
Oh,
making a face like
man.
you have to poop, you do like make
Yeah.
jokes, but also like, listen, if you don't get your ass down, I'm gonna put a fire underneath you until
I
I would
enjoyed
say things
one
like
of my
that.
favorite things to do would be calling out people on the mic who are taking like fake rest.
Yeah.
Like the people that were like stopping in the middle of something they're supposed to do and really fast to take a sip of water.
Yeah.
And be like, it's climate controlled 58 degrees in here. Hey, we started 5 minutes ago.
You can go 7 days without drinking water.
Let's don't. I see you sipping water. I see you untying then tying your shoe. You don't need a rest. No,
Or
but
Velcro.
the biggest thing of that is like having so many people in that same room. Such minimal coaching, just making sure people don't get hurt.
So
And they're not actually coaching, so you really can't progress people
Correct.
in that type of environment. Like
I would
it's
agree
a
with that.
it's a great like
Fitness class.
maintenance program.
it's a, yeah.
Like so, I mean I'm gonna steal this right from Ryan Fisher. I saw him do it on from Chalk Programming on Instagram. Like Orange Theory maintenance program, F45 maintenance program, because it's just you can get a good sweat on. You can keep the pounds down. People can lose a lot of weight doing those things. You can like maintain some muscles, great movement, but to really excel,
Yeah.
you need to be doing different stuff. Like
Okay.
because you need to be under the supervision and direction of a coach, ensuring you're lifting enough weight doing it properly.
Gotcha.
Make sure your pace is truly good. Like if
Gotcha.
I was coaching someone running on a treadmill, it's like we're gonna make sure we really dial into like these intervals like a little more hardcore.
Gotcha.
Like we're gonna run like 400-meter repeats.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure you're gonna hit that same pace every single 400 meters.
Oh, that's the Apex model.
That kind of thing.
Hate that.
Opposed to just like, hey, you're running, maybe you're slacking off today.
Yeah.
Like I won't be able to tell.
So would you say that it was similar to like just going to a regular gym and just doing your own program that you found online and then you just don't change anything from it? Would you say it's something like that? Like some people would obviously look at a program that they get online, they might change a little bit of it, they might add weight, they might push themselves.
Yeah.
But the 5 out of 8 people are probably not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because there's a lot of where you can really make your gains in a group like that is on like the weight side.
yeah,
It's like you always got to get through to people. Like people know on the treadmill, like, hey, I can run faster now. Like my speed is now a 6.5. It used to be a 6.
but you can see because you coached people running for so long that you could see like if somebody's like you could push yourself a little bit
It's
more.
like let's go.
See, I can't do that. I haven't coached people long enough. Running. I haven't coached runners. So I don't know how to be like
the rate of perceived exertion through like my eyes.
Well, I talk to them, and if they say more than 2 words, I'm like, okay, you're not pushing.
Exactly.
Me,
It's
the
kind of
only way I
like
can
if
do it.
like it truly, and just like in here, it's like if someone's lifting, they finish their set of 12 reps, and they just like don't look bothered at all, and they just calmly put it down, and they're still like breathing through their nose calmly.
Do you know what I do here?
It's like, go ahead, you're gonna need something heavier.
I go, okay. And I walk over and I go, put that down real quick. I go, oh, here you
And that's that's where it's like that personal attention. You can't get that at one of those bigger group classes. And here it's like, all right, you're clearly not like, and it's just a small thing.
Yeah.
It's just like you're never gonna make the gains on the weight side.
Yeah.
Which everybody needs.
Yeah.
If you're not getting a little bit pushed.
I mean, when you come in here, it's a controlled group.
Yep.
You don't have more than 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say 99% of the time, we'd never have more than 7 people. Just
Yep.
on the Saturdays for Sweat to Summer.
Yeah.
We have, that's like a fun time. But
Yep.
the movements themselves are everything that we already prep during the week. It's a fun workout, getting in the community, moving your
Yep.
butt. But during these workouts during the week with these 7 people, first of all, you've gone through an intro session. I know you can move
Yep.
correctly and
Mhm.
appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's coming in and where you want to be comfortable. I like it's comfortably pushing.
Yeah.
So it's more of like, that was light enough for you. How do you feel?
Yep.
Do you think that was too light for you?
Yeah.
And don't say, no, it wasn't, so that I don't go grab you another dumbbell. Don't be that guy. Be like, yeah, it was light. I'm not going to be like, oh, you did 10? Let's grab an 80. It's like, I'm going to grab, a 12. And we're slowly going to progress because I want you to feel comfortable. That's the biggest thing here, too, and that I've noticed that like right away was that we want you to feel comfortable, but we also want you to push yourself because I'm not going to waste your time.
That's how gains happen.
That's how gains happen, but I'm not going to waste. Why are you here?
Yeah.
Are you here because you want to social? Sure. I will talk to you for an hour. That is fine. But if you want to get stronger, feel stronger, lose fat, lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is, you need to be uncomfortable, but you don't have to be completely uncomfortable to a point where you're dripping and you're like, there are some people that don't like their heart rate over 150, right?
Yeah.
But their max heart rate is maybe 180.
Yep.
And they're like, 150 is I can't go back. I feel uncomfortable.
It's like, what if you didn't know what it was?
Exactly.
What if
And
you just
then-
went until you really just felt uncomfortable?
That's right. That's right. And then so what you do is you get them to that 150
Yep.
and be like, hey, this is your 150. We'll keep you right here. Do that for another week. 150.
Yeah.
Go with 151.
Yeah.
So and then it's boom 160. How do you feel? Oh, I feel good. All right. So the first workout always sucks.
No matter. Yep.
No matter.
First week maybe.
First week, I always say the first workout sucks. The second workout sucks less.
Yeah.
The third one sucks even less.
Yeah.
And then I go, when you hit 100, it just sucks less.
Yeah, it's
But it
always
still
going to suck a
sucks.
little, yeah. And that's the thing, like, and
It always
one
sucks.
thing I wanted to bring up is like from also like people who've been in the fitness game a while, like you and I. It's and like even just you'll see this on social media and stuff, like all the influencers, whatever, and it's like no one really loves going to the gym to work out all the time.
All the time. That's
You
yes.
know, it's
But I
it's
do
just
look
like
forward to going to the
so
gym.
it's like one of these things. Like I've gone through stages of my life where I've been very fit,
Sure.
and then by my standards, like
Not
less
so fit. Sure.
You know, and so and I know you have too. We both just had kids, so
He's
that
saying I'm not fit now.
I'm also coming back from a less fit version of myself. But it's more. It's just like it's sometimes like it's not. We can give all the best advice.
Yep.
We had to listen to our own advice half the time.
It's tough.
It's hard. It's like I know all the answers to the test.
Sure.
Executing it can just be the most challenging part. So like that's where it's like people coming in the door just trying to do like what's best for them and trying
Correct.
to like get out of their comfort zone because they know they need to do something and it's very hard for them. It's like we get it.
Well, that's why good coaches or personal trainers will have a coach because
Exactly.
it's not that we don't know what we're doing.
Tom Brady had a throwing coach forever.
I think that's different.
No, it's
You
not.
can't compare yourself to Tom Brady.
I just did.
And that will conclude.
No. Flush
last-
this out.
That is the last slide forever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, so good coaches will always have coach. Just like you'll hop into a class that I'm coaching,
Sure.
I'll hop into a class that you're coaching because, sure, I can work out. I can close
Yep.
my eyes and maybe bench press, 1,000,000 pounds. But at the end of the day, what is that? I did 8 reps. I could have did 10, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. It's
Yeah.
like no one's looking. I go home with myself.
Exactly.
People aren't gonna be like, "Oh, Josh only did 8 reps today."
Mhm.
Versus I'm here. I'm with other people. Well, not only am I a coach here, but also at the same time, it's like, well, Rich next to me is kicking his ass for
Yep.
himself because Adam's like, go, and I'm like, I wanna do that too.
Oh my God, I love working out with the group. That's the best part.
And it's like-minded people. People are here to move.
Yep.
People are here to feel better.
Yep.
To get stronger, to
Mhm.
lose weight, whatever their reason is for here. Even if you're with somebody who wants to get stronger and you want to lose weight, which are kind of different, you're still going to try to work as hard as they are
Yep.
in a different element of it, and they're right next to you
Yep.
because they have a goal, you have a goal, and you just work.
Even if you don't have an exact specific goal,
Sure, routine.
just routine.
Yeah.
Just feel better. And that's
Just feel
the people that we see have the best results. Like obviously, they've been coming there for like 2 years. Obviously, they're gonna have great results. To be like, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to like.
Ask them why they're here. They couldn't tell you.
But it's just like you have to do this stuff for like 2+ years, like to really get results. Like he's so fit. He goes, he's been going to the gym forever. I'm like, and they've succeeded. They just start like
Yeah.
just like you're starting now. You'd have to do this now.
Well,
Forever.
Yeah. Well, old school fitness is very much like, if you lift weights, you get big. Not
Yep.
just muscle, but you get fat. You get everything. You look big.
Yeah.
And if you run, you don't, which is not always true. So if I want to lose weight, I should run. If I want to gain weight, I should lift. And it's like, no, those are very old models that have been discouraged for years. But the best way to kind of explain to people is just like if I said to you, I want you to run the Boston Marathon. Say it was last week. I know Boston Marathon was this past week. But if I said, I want you to run the marathon on Monday, you haven't trained for it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the next 3 days to train for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to make it.
Yeah, probably not.
It's going to take you a day.
It's gonna be
Cramp
very
up,
painful.
something, right?
Yeah.
You haven't trained. Just like if I said, I want you to go bench 400 pounds.
Yeah.
You're going to get crushed under the bar.
Yep.
These take time.
Yep.
But we understand that.
Yep.
But the physical change also takes that time, too.
It's
It
crazy.
actually takes more time.
I always say it's like picture how long you think it's gonna take. Like say like
double it.
I want to lose like 30 pounds.
Sure.
And yada yada. I'm like I think I could do it in like 6 months.
Great.
I go
Double it.
double it.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep.
Minimum.
Yep.
Like and if it happens before then, sweet.
Sure.
But for the most part, it's gonna take longer. That's why it's like there's always the big rush in January to get people in and
Yep.
stuff like that. But it's just like, dude, you better be buckling up for the long haul.
Yeah, if you want to prep
Like you
for
can get
the summer,
you can get some results. Like our sweat to summer things, they'll get you results if you're coming as much as you can, and
Sure.
that like 3 times a week, and you're doing other things as well, as like going on walks and getting some, making smart choices on your in your kitchen, like that's going to get you results for sure.
Sure.
It's not the end point.
Sure.
Like when Sweat to Summer is over, like that's not the end.
No.
Like it's a continuation. This is sort of just a nice jump start to get things rolling.
100%.
Right? And that's almost, you should look at like.
This is Sweat to next summer.
Sweat to, that's in the fine print, actually.
Yeah.
People didn't know that.
Sweat to next.
Yep. Exactly.
Underneath. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's a lifestyle, and that doesn't mean you need to. I tell people.